In a small village nestled in the heart of a quiet valley, Christmas was a time of warmth, joy, and togetherness. The entire community came alive during the festive season. Houses glimmered with string lights. The scent of freshly baked pies filled the air, and carolers moved from door to door, singing melodies that touched the soul. Among the many families that thrived in this peaceful village was that of Daniel Agbor, a 22-year-old young man known for his kind art and unwavering loyalty to his friends. Daniel was the eldest son in his family. He was a hard worker, often helping his parents with their farm, while also taking on small construction jobs in the neighboring town. Though his life was simple, Daniel had big dreams. He hoped to save enough money to pursue his studies in engineering. His friends often teased him about his aspirations, calling him Professor. But their mockery was always followed by hearty laughter, or so Daniel believed. Among his closest friends were Victor, James, and Caleb. They had grown up together, sharing secrets, adventures, and challenges. To Daniel, they were brothers, his chosen family. He trusted them completely, never once doubting their intentions. Little did he know, envy and greed had begun to fester in their hearts, especially in Victor, whose ambition often turned into bitterness whenever Daniel's success was mentioned. A celebration to remember. On Christmas Eve, the entire village gathered at the community center for a grand celebration. There was music, dancing, and an endless array of food. Daniel, dressed in a crisp white shirt and a red scarf, gifted by his younger sister, stood out in the crowd. He greeted everyone warmly, his smile as bright as the festive lights adorning the hall. Victor, James, and Caleb were already at the party when Daniel arrived. They waved him over, their faces masked with cheerful grins. "Daniel, over here!" Victor called out, his voice carrying over the lively chatter of the crowd. Daniel made his way to his friends, a plate of steaming jollof rice in his hand. "Merry Christmas, guys!" He greeted them, raising his plate slightly in a mock toast. Victor laughed and clapped him on the back. "Merry Christmas, Professor! You're looking sharp tonight." "Thanks, Vic," Daniel replied. "You guys aren't looking too bad yourselves." As the evening wore on, the group danced, ate, and exchanged jokes. To any outsider, they appeared inseparable, a picture of camaraderie. But beneath the surface, tension simmered. Victor's forced laughter grew more strained each time someone complimented Daniel, and James and Caleb, though quieter, exchanged knowing glances, their unease evident. As the night deepened, Victor leaned closer to Daniel. "Hey, Daniel," he began, his tone casual, "we've got a little surprise for you." "A surprise?" Daniel asked, his curiosity piqued. "Yeah," Caleb chimed in, his voice low. "It's something special. But we need to head to the old barn at the edge of the village." Daniel hesitated. The old barn was isolated, and the thought of venturing there so late at night made him uneasy. But his trust in his friends outweighed his apprehension. "All right," he agreed. "Lead the way." The four young men left the festive hall, the sounds of laughter and music fading behind them. The night was cold, the moonlight casting long shadows on the snow-dusted path. Daniel walked in the middle, flanked by his friends, unaware of the dark intentions that lay ahead. When they reached the barn, Victor pulled out a small lantern, its flickering light casting eerie shapes on the walls. "Wait here," he instructed Daniel. "We'll bring out the surprise." Daniel nodded, his breath visible in the frigid air. As he waited, he noticed the silence. It was the kind of silence that pressed on his ears, heavy and unsettling. He turned to ask if everything was all right, but before he could speak, a sharp pain exploded at the back of his head. He stumbled forward, his vision swimming as he tried to process what had just happened. Victor stood behind him, a wooden plank in his hands. His face was twisted with anger and something darker, greed. Daniel fell to his knees, clutching the back of his head. "Victor, why?" He managed to whisper, his voice thick with disbelief. "Why?" Victor spat. "Because we're tired of living in your shadow, Daniel. Everything is always about you. Your hard work, your dreams, your success. What about us?" "Victor, we're friends," Daniel pleaded, his voice breaking. "We've always been in this together." "No," Victor growled. "You were always ahead of us. Always better." "Well, not anymore." James and Caleb stepped forward, their faces pale but resolute. They didn't speak, but their silence was a testament to their complicity. Together, the three dragged Daniel further into the barn. He struggled, his strength waning as his vision blurred. "Please," he begged, his voice barely audible. "Don't do this." But his pleas fell on deaf ears. The next morning, Christmas Day, the village awoke to a grim discovery. Daniel's lifeless body was found near the barn, his once bright eyes now closed forever. The news spread like wildfire, casting a dark cloud over what was supposed to be a day of joy and celebration. Daniel's parents were inconsolable, their grief piercing the hearts of all who heard their cries. His younger siblings clung to their mother, their faces streaked with tears. The entire village gathered to offer their condolences, but no amount of words could ease the family's pain. Suspicion quickly fell on Victor, James, and Caleb, their absence from the Christmas morning church service and their uncharacteristic nervousness raised eyebrows. It wasn't long before the truth unraveled. Under pressure, Caleb confessed, his guilt too heavy to bear. The community was outraged. The betrayal of trust, the loss of a bright young life, and the sheer senselessness of the act left everyone reeling. The three were handed over to the authorities, their actions condemned by all. In the weeks that followed, the village worked to honor Daniel's memory. A scholarship fund was established in his name, aimed at helping young people achieve their Dreams, dreams that Daniel had held so dear. His story became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the destructive power of envy and the importance of cherishing true friendships. Though the pain of his loss lingered, Daniel's legacy shone brightly, inspiring others to live with kindness, resilience, and integrity. And every Christmas, the village lit a special lantern in his memory, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of love and community.